Let me introduce you to a partner of mine. Um, he has been in my life for well over 30 years. We went to high school together. So not only is he a business partner, but he is a friend and my little brother. He's an uncle to my children and a brother to my husband. He's been a wonderful asset to our team. He brings wonderful gifts, his own gifts to our team, and is always willing to share those with us, which is what we're going to experience today. So I'll let him give you his details of his backstory. And again, if you don't have anything to write on or anything to write with, you want to scramble and get that now. I guarantee you this is going to be some information that you can use to grow your business starting this evening as soon as it's over. So, Derek, I'm going to turn them over to you. Are you ready to teach us?
No, because I'm crying because of that introduction. It's just so warm and heartfelt. I need a moment.
We're all yours, little bro.
All righty. So, as Nita Mitchell Jackson said, my name's Derek McDaniel. I've been with this wonderful company for almost 10 years. So, it'll be 10 years this coming February. I'm a father, I'm a husband. Uh, I'm also a DJ. I love music, I love to cook, but I also love travel. My son will be 13 in February, and my daughter, she just turned 16, October 17th. And for her birthday, I was able to get her first car, a 2020 Nissan Murano, and that was partly due to the money I made in this travel business. So that's enough about me. And as Nina said, we've known each other for years, so I give her a hard time. Um, so we're going to jump into the training. So with my trainings, I like them to lead off from the previous training. So just a quick recap of the training I did before. There's three types of currencies, which is your time, your money, and knowledge. All three, they work well together. They're not independent, but they all work for you to increase your business. So we may redo that training in a few upcoming sessions. So right now we're going to jump into knowing your clients. If I get my screen to work. Training guide, understanding clients as car gears. So I'm a travel agent. I love to cook. I love to DJ, but I also love cars. So I have a lot of habits. So how can a car shift relate to client behaviors? So basically, as your clients moving through the decision making for the travel process, their mind are shifting gears just like they're shifting in cars. And being a travel agent, you want to be able to recognize your current client's mindset or what gear they're in and customize your approach and your business to meet their needs. Now, there's four types of gears. And these four types of gears, they're going to relate to four types of clients. You got park, you got neutral, you got drive, and you got reverse. So up first, we're gonna talk about park. Those window shopper clients. 1 second, I got some things popping on my screen. The window shopper client. Now, this particular client, the window shopper, their personality type. They love the idea of travel or new experience, but they often hesitate to take a trip. They're curious, but they're often afraid of making the wrong choice. Now, an example of this client is a traveler who looks at dozens of destinations but never actually books. Or it's one of those clients that says, let me think about it, I'll get back to you. They always have some excuse to why they can't buckle down and make a decision. Now, for this particular client, they do not like to feel rushed or pressured. And they do not like offers to make them feel like you're putting them in a corner and that they got to make a quick decision. And then they really do not like to be just overly sold something. They don't like to be pressured into buying anything. Now, what makes them happy is giving this type of client a chance to sit and think about it and having time to decide. And they like to have that warm, fuzzy feeling that you're guiding them, that you're helping them, and that they're just not a client that you're selling something to. And then this type of person also likes to see flexibility. They want to know refunds, anything about cancellations, and what guarantees the vendor can give them in writing. Now, how to win a client like this over? You just got to build trust with knowledge and your patience. And then also too, you want to share success stories and client testimonials. Um, I personally, when this comes about, let's just say if Nora wants to go to a resort in Jamaica, but I know Nina has stayed at that resort and I know Nina had a great experience. I was like, hey, Nina, you mind talking to Nora real quick? Tell about your time with your family at this resort. And I've done that with my clients. Now, on some occasions, I have clients who say, well, I want to stay at this resort no matter what. And I'm like, okay, I know Nina just came back from there, and I know Nina had some really bad experiences. I do that also. I'm like, hey, you know what? I know this is on your list. You want to go there, but I just had someone come from that resort, and I really want you to hear their experiences they had. I take the time to do that with my clients so they can have the information they need. And then also with this type of person, you want to offer flexible options. So, payment plans, insurance, and, giving them the details of any refundable packages. Now, how to maintain relationship with this person? Just check in with them. Say, hey, you know what? You just landed. I just wanted to check in, see if you got your shuttle. Hey, I just want to check in. Hey, did you make it to the hotel okay? Hey, I'm just checking in with you. Don't forget tomorrow, you got to schedule your shuttle service home. Just gentle check ins, no pressure. Just say, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about you. I want to make sure you're good. And then, like for this type of person, I keep them on my email list and, with just different things to inspire them and just to keep them in the mindset of travel. And then for this person, I always try to make sure they feel that the booking process, they felt safe and it was easy for them. Now, the next one is the neutral client, the one who's the go with the flow type person. Now, this person, they're easygoing. Sometimes you're going to see they're really laid back and really easygoing, and they're not going to be quick to make any decisions. They're going to want you to take the lead. Remember, they're followers, not planners. An example of this client, you just pick something for us. And also another tell for this client, either they don't respond to emails or they're going to wait to the last minute to confirm details or give you information that you've been questioning for a while. Now, what they do not like is they don't like to be overwhelmed with too many choices, or they don't like to read a lot or have too much information to compare, or if you give them complicated instructions or you expect them to make a decision, especially if this person is coming to you with a group, don't look for them to make any decisions for the group. Now, what makes this type of person happy? When someone handles every single thing for them from start to finish of the trip, getting clear, simple options, and feeling like they got a great deal without any stress. Now, how to win them over? Like some clients, I give a lot of options too, but if I sense that this person is of that neutral state, I try to keep it simple. I give them like two or three simple options, let them choose, and then I keep my communication brief. Sometimes I might send them a photo. Sometimes I might send them a link to a video from YouTube that they can look at their own leisure when they have time. And then I just try to maintain and just let them know, hey, you know what? This is going to be a simple process for you. So just take your time and just work with this client. Now, how to maintain the relationship? Now, some of folks may not have or may not feel that they want to be in a leadership role or feel like they need to take the lead with their customers or clients. For this particular client to win that relationship, you might have to step out your comfort zone and be the leader that they're counting on you. They want to hear your direction, they want to hear your guidance. And you want to keep in constant communication with them. You want to update them without giving them too much information. And then at the end, they want to say, you know what, this was a stress free experience. So, yeah, I'll come back to you. Let's book another trip. Now, this one is the drive, let's go client. Now, this one, they're confident, action oriented, and very decisive. These clients, they know what they want and they want what they want. Now, example of this client, they've already done their research. They already know what hotel they want to stay in. They prefer efficiency over hand holding. I've had several clients like this that say, hey, you know what? I want to stay at this resort. I want this room type. I want this package. I want to take this excursion. And all I do is just go in and book it. They already done all the work for me. So those clients, those are those drive type clients. Now, what they do not like Like if you're the type of person who's slow to response, or you don't give them specific answers to the questions they ask, or they feel like don't you treat them like they don't know what they're talking about, especially if they've already done the research. They say, you know what, I want this resort, I want this package. I've even had clients come to me about promotions that I didn't even know about, and they say, hey, this is coming up in a couple of weeks. I want to get this type of cabin. I want to get this particular cruise. So just make sure you value their opinion when they're coming to you. Now, these clients, they don't like small talk. They would just want the results. I have some clients where I have to go into like a 15-minute lifelong spiel about their cat, their dog, what they did at work before we even get to talking about travel. But that's that type of client. But for this type of client, they don't want the small talk. Just give them the information they need and then keep it moving. Now, what makes them happy? Fast service, clear communication. They like personalized upgrades and insider perks. I'm going to go a little bit more in detail at the end of the presentation about what I do for my clients when it comes to that. And, they want to feel respected for their quick decision making. Now, how to win these guys over? You got to match their energy. You got to, if they're coming on the phone, like right now, I had a vendor call me the other day. And we was talking. This was at work. It wasn't travel. But this individual saw the 313 number, and as soon as I said hello, he's like, "What up, though, Mr. McDaniel?" I'm looking like, "Okay, what up, though?" I had to respond back in kind because that's the energy he came with. If your client is coming and they're speaking fast and they say, "You know what? I need ABC," you give them ABC. If your client calls you and they're talking, say, "You know what? How was your day?" Ask them how their day was. So just match their energy. Whatever they're giving you, match their energy, and then offer add-ons that make them feel like VIPs. Keep them focused on the process, make sure it's streamlined, and the results are what they want. How to maintain this relationship? Follow up after the trip and thank them and ask them for the feedback, especially if they brought the trip that they want to take to you, if they did the research, if they literally put the package together and all you did was just click the button and book it for them. Reach back out to them for their feedback about the trip. Now offer loyalty perks or next level travel ideas. So, like, if they're a frequent traveler, try to encourage them to join rewards programs, or try to, if they had like a jacuzzi suite for this person, next time they take a trip, I might try to encourage them to take a swim out suite, or maybe a suite with a penthouse with a jacuzzi outside on the penthouse. Just something for them to up the next level whenever they take another trip. And then with this type of person, I always try to treat them as long term partners and not a one time sale. Now, this one, the reverse, the second guesser. So, this person, these clients, they move forward, but then they may quickly change their mind. They may say, I want to go to a new destination. They may say, you know what, we started with 10 people, now it's down to 5 people, but then you get another phone call a week later. I've added 3 more people. So, this person will possibly constantly change things around them. Now, they're emotionally driven and they're easily influenced by others or any new information. They may see a video on YouTube, they may see somebody post something on Instagram. So, you may just have to reach out to this person a lot to give them reassurance about the trip they're taking. Now, example of this client, they'll book a trip, then 2 days later, they'll call to change the destination. Or they may cancel because a friend or family member say they got a better deal. Like I've actually had clients, this one young lady, they was going to Punta Cana. I think the package price was like 11 or 12,000 for like I think it was like 9 or 10 people. She calls me the day she got ready to make the deposit. Said her sister said don't go with it. That's why you don't shouldn't trust travel agents because that's a ripoff. Her sister found like a Airbnb for like you think $7 or $8,000, and like I said, my package was it was like somewhere between 11 and 13, but mine's included flights. It included the all-inclusive resort and the accommodations and transportation to and from the resort. Hers, it was just a property, and I explained to her like, look, if you do this, you're still gonna have to buy flights. You're still gonna have to feed the people that's going with you, and then you're gonna have to find transportation to and from wherever you guys are staying. Long story short, they booked the Airbnb, but they waited to the last minute to get their flights, and it was just through the roof. So they didn't even end up taking the trip at all. So sometimes this type of client will come across your way. Now, what they like or dislike, They're feeling unheard or dismissed when they express their concerns. They really don't like rigid policies or having a lack of flexibility. Then they really don't like complicated cancellation or difficult change processes. Now, what makes them happy is feeling in control and that you're giving them support they need, knowing that you're there as a resource for them, knowing that if they got a problem, you're the person they can call on to help them out. And then also having a backup plan for peace of mind. Now, how to win this client over? You got to be calm and reassuring even when they change course. Because, like I said, this person, they might flip flop a few times, and your initial instinct may be to react, but still be calm, still be patient, provide the service, and always be professional. And for this client, you definitely got to confirm all details in writing to reduce misunderstandings. But I say not only for this client, you do it to all your clients. Confirm all the details in writing to reduce any misunderstandings, no matter what their personality type is. Now, offer options instead of just saying no. So instead of saying no, say, you know what? We can't really do that, but you know what? Here's an option we can do for you. What you think about this? Now, how to remain this relationship, set clear boundaries on changes and timelines. So, like if you have a group cruise and this is the type of person you're dealing with. Let's say if the final payment is due on December 15th, I might tell them the final payment is due December 10th because they may at the last minute say, you know what, I need a couple of days. This person backed out. This person doesn't get paid until this day. So I might change the payment date and give them a solid line earlier. That way I know there's no headaches when it comes time to make the final payment. So you want to keep your communication kind but structured. So like I said, you might want to lash out when they make all these changes, but still be kind, but structured into a way that you're still maintaining a good relationship with them. And then just provide confidence with them through regular updates. And if you give them regular updates, that might limit them want to make additional changes later on. Now, that is the end of the training. So now we're going to do the wrap up, shifting your service to match your clients. So, as you can see, we got the gears, we got the client types, and we got key strategies. So if you got a part client, which is the window shopper, key strategy, build trust and reduce pressure on that person. If you got the gear reverse, that's the second guesser, stay calm, offer them options. You got clients who are neutral, the go with the flow folks, or sometimes these may be the ones say, well, you make the decision for me. Just lead them with confidence and just do what you do. You got the clients who are drive, the let's go, respond fast, and make sure you offer them value for what they want. Now, my trainer's tip. The best travel advisors learn to shift gears, adjusting their style to meet their clients where they are. When you do this, every type of traveler feels understood, valued, and ready for their next journey and trip with you. Now, here are some of the things that I do for all my clients, no matter who they are. I offer referral fees and I pay towards their package. So let's just say Nora refers Sandra to me for a trip. And if Sandra takes and books that trip, and let's say the commission on that trip is $500, I might give Nora $100 after that trip is taken as a referral fee. Or let's just say Nora comes and this is Nora's third or fourth trip with me. And let's say the commission is, we just say $500 again. I might take $100 and pay that towards Nora's balance. So when Nora gets ready to make her final payment or I send her an invoice, I'm like, you know what, Nora, I was able to get you $100 off your final payment. That's just my way of saying thank you because you've booked so many trips with me and I just want to do something nice for you. So here's $100 off of your package. Something else I do, I pay for upgrades. So let's just say if they're doing a shared shuttle service and the shared shuttle is like $30. But then if I see I can pay 60 or 90 for private transportation, I'll do that for them. Or let's just say if they're in somewhere in the Caribbean and their current room package, I'm getting maybe 700, 800 in commission for it. And let's just say to upgrade them to a better class of room is like 150. I might just pay that because I'm already getting $700 in commission. But then when I bump up to that higher room category that I'm paying for them, it's pretty much a wash because that might come in the form of the extra commission for the room upgrade. But that gives them a warm, fuzzy feeling when they go check in. And then also give gifts to celebrate special occasions. So champagne, flowers, dinners. If they're on a cruise, I might pay for the room to be decorated to have the anniversary, the birthday, the special celebration. Or I may, if it's their anniversary and they're on their anniversary, I might reach out to the hotel, say, you know what, on this particular day, I need champagne and flowers sent to them. Or if it's a hotel where there's meals and things like that where they have to pay for, I may cover that for them. Now, one thing I do is for like a lot of my clients who I do this for a lot of folks who do not travel or who haven't really experienced the joy of travel. So I might gift them my Marriott or Hilton perks. So sometimes I might just call the resort and say, all right, you know what? Nina's is staying here this week. I want to add my Marriott account number to her because I want Nina to enjoy all of my perks and benefits. And if there's any room upgrades, I want Nina to be able to experience that. So like with Marriott and Hilton, I think with Marriott, I can check out as late as 6 p.m. the next day. And I think with Hilton, I can check out as late as like 5 p.m. the next day. So giving them that type of access, or like if there's special lounges or concierge services, because they have my account, they get access to those perks. And then any room upgrades that I would be entitled to, they would get entitled to. And then like with certain Marriott hotels I stay at, I'm guaranteed a bottle of wine with each stay, no matter when I go there. And then also too, like with Hilton, with me being Diamond at Hilton, right in the front, they got those little special parking spaces for Diamond members. So when the guests check in, they're like, you know what, Mr. McDaniel has give you his Marriott perks or his Hilton perks. So this week, your breakfast is free, your parking's free, your room has been upgraded. Just little things just to give them a warm fuzzy. And also too, I do this to get them to want to travel more. And this has encouraged some other folks to travel. But also, because I've added my Marriott rewards or my Hilton numbers to their reservations, I get credit and points for their stay. Now, if the client has, now I have clients who had their own Marriott, but because my status was higher, they chose to leave my account number on there so they can enjoy the perks and benefits. But if not, I let the clients use their perks. And then I always check on the clients during travel. When they're landing, when they're getting there, or when they get to the resort, whether they're the type who are independent, whether they're the drive type, whether they're neutral type, I always check in because there's always something that they may forget. So let's just say if they're there for 5 days, they check in on Monday. I say, all right, you good? All right, I'm gonna check back in on you Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday or Thursday, I might check back in. Hey, don't forget by this time tomorrow, you got to schedule your shuttle back to the airport. That's all I want, nothing else. Hope you guys are having fun. So usually I send that through a text, but then some of my clients we've been using WhatsApp to communicate while they've been over there. But I always check in on my clients during travel and also check in with them after travel. Even if you're a guy 6 feet, 330 pounds, I'm still gonna make sure you got home safe. Hey, bro, you good? Just make sure you got off the plane, you got on the shuttle. All right. Now, by me doing that with him, he knows if I'm checking on him, he'll be more inclined to refer his sister, his girlfriend, his wife, and her friends, because he'll be like, you know what? If he's checking on me, I know if he send my lady friends, I know they're going to be taken care of. I know he's going to make sure they get back and forth to the hotel. Okay, so just always check in on your clients. And I think, nope, I got one more. I also text and email on birthdays and anniversaries. So as you're getting the client's information, I have a spreadsheet with everybody's birthday. Sometimes I have the reminders set on my phone. Just send them a text or email and then just let them know you're thinking about them. And you never know, you might spark a conversation for a new trip. But I believe that is my last slide, Miss Nina. So I want to thank everyone. So is there any questions or anything?
Let me fix the mics. Folks, take a moment and tell our wonderful trainer how awesome he is. I told you guys it was going to be a really, really good training and some information that you would be able to use as early as this evening. I am unlocking the mics right now. So you guys, if you have any questions, and it could be about something that Derrick just went over or any other questions that you guys may have, please feel free to unmute yourselves and ask your
Mhm.
questions in real time. We'd love to assist you. The mics are unlocked, so you guys are welcome to unmute yourselves. We'll give you a couple of minutes to figure out what you want to ask. And
Now, the next training for this is going to be diving into the four personality types a little bit more deeper. So that's going to be the next training after this.
we're going to try to get some solid training in, some more solid trainings in before we break for the Christmas holiday. So, again, if you guys have any topics in mind that you definitely want or need us to cover, please let us know. You're welcome to email us or send us a message in our elite group. Or if you happen to be an agent that is not a part of the elite group, but you are a part of Evolution Travel, you can inbox us. We'll be more than happy to accommodate. Derrick, you have a lot of thank yous. This was a great training. Awesome job, Derrick. Thank you. Thank you for this great training. Thanks for the great tips and best practices.
Not a problem.
Looks like
Hi,
you do.
Derrick.
Oh, there's Sandy. Hey.
Hi. So I didn't have a question, but I just really wanted to say thank you so much for sharing this with us. I would not have thought to apply my personal rewards for hotels to my client's stay. Some of the other things I currently do and I'm aware of, but I would not have thought to do that. So that was awesome. I greatly appreciate that. I see Tawana shaking her head, so she's agreeing with me on that. So I definitely would not have thought to do that, but I would certainly be doing that moving forward. I appreciate that.
Yep. Like I said, it's a good little benefit for them, especially if they never traveled or if they never got to experience certain things at a hotel. Because like I used to be titanium with Marriott, but now I'm just platinum. So they get a lot
Wait,
of
did you
perks.
just say just platinum? Like, knock it off. Just
Okay.
platinum. I am only silver with them. What do you mean just platinum? Let me
Well,
use those
anyway,
benefits again. And he really does do that. Like, there's been instances where I have called him at the last minute in a full-on panic. I was graduating with my master's and it was storming in Louisiana and they had canceled our booking at another hotel and I was stuck. Everything was just about sold out because there were some tournaments happening, baseball tournaments, and then Grambling's graduation was happening. So hotels were a
mhm.
mess. I called Derrick at the last. First, I texted him because you guys know that I will text first versus calling. I texted him first, and then I called and said, "Hey, this is what's going on. Um, I need some help." And Derrick did what he does. You know, he will put his own perks out there for you to get what you need. And it was definitely clutch. We had no place to stay that first night, but because he did what he did, we were able to pull a rabbit out of the hat at the last moment and pay little to nothing and was in an upgraded room in a comfortable hotel that we hadn't planned on staying in. So he really walks the walk. This is not something that he is just talking about doing. He really walks the walk. And I wanted to add that I have like really not been booking over the last 2.5, 3 years because I've been focused on my education. So Derrick is one of my go-tos. I will give him um, the reservations when people come to me and ask me for quotes. I will, refer them to Derrick because I know he's going to take care of them. He gives them that top tier treatment. Um, I have gotten so many compliments on what Derrick has done and how he was there to answer their calls and how he really does have the patience of Job because I will give him my problem clients too. If I think this is going to be a problem, I pass it right to Derrick. And he handles it like he not only makes the client feel like they are his only client, he meets their needs, and then he adds a little razzle dazzle on the top. So don't be afraid to go that extra mile for your clients because you do end up having return clients and then referrals because they will talk about the wonderful time they had and the special things that you did for them. So don't be afraid to give them that little extra, which is a part of you. Let your personality shine in how you relate to your clients. Be you. We're not saying be Derrick or be me. Be you, but take what he has said and make it your own. Sit down tonight while this is fresh in your mind and make a list of things. Whereas Derrick may put his own points in so that his clients can get upgrades and things. You may be a creative person that makes gift bags. Let that be the extra thing that you do. Make it your own, right? Put your own spin on it and give your clients a piece of you. That's the whole purpose of this, to help you think outside of the box, if that makes sense. So if you guys don't have any other questions, we are going to let Derrick get back to his family. Derrick, you have inspired my family. Next Halloween, we are either crossing the Alabama state line or we're going to reproduce over here what you did over there. Derrick DJ'd for his entire community, had his DJ equipment outside, had the house decorated and the lights on, and all of the kids were coming to his house. I couldn't believe the video. I showed it to Brandon. I said, hey, Derrick is over there living life. We're going to have to do something. We either need to go over there or we need to do this here. So let's create this battle thing where we see what we can do and what they do. But it's a wonderful
You can come to Alabama and we can make it a group event. You come to Alabama, we get our themed costumes. I'll cook, I'll play the music. Y'all all are welcome to come to Alabama.
Say less. Say less. We will start planning now. Maybe we'll dress up as the Avengers and creep our kids out. They don't think it's cool. So thank you, Derrick, for taking time out of your evening to train our clients, our agents. You always bring something that we do not think about. So it's wonderful that you do this for us. I personally cannot wait until the next training. If you guys think of any topics you would like for us to cover, please do not hesitate to let us know. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to log in with us, to hone your own craft and to get better with what you are already doing. We're excited to watch you guys grow, and we're here to assist you in any way that we can. So thanks again, and we look forward to training with you guys next Wednesday for the walkthrough, and then the following Saturday. Of course, we're not going to do anything the Saturday after Thanksgiving. We're going to have a little break with our families, but then we'll be right back to it in a full sprint for the holidays. We're also going to cover some tips and tricks of what you can do to get to sell last minute vacations for Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year, because those are coming up and you've got a lot of people who have not booked yet. So we got you covered with that. All right. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a wonderful week on purpose. Our training is officially over. Have a good night.
Thanks.